Today is Monday, Parashat Bechukotai, and we're learning the Mussar from Chok L'Yisrael. Mussar begins by saying, Ilmale boshet shebara kadosh baruch hu, lo haya adam naki me'avera. If it wasn't for this idea of embarrassment, that a person would be embarrassed to do certain things, then Adam would not be clean of avera, of sins. In other words, many times a person is tempted to do something that is wrong, but he refrains and restrains himself because he would be embarrassed to do something like that either in public or to do something that like that would be discovered later. That embarrassment that a person would endure is something that stops him from being sinful. And the Mussar also brings example of young people that have sometimes temptations to do certain things, and the only reason why they don't do it is because they would be embarrassed to do whatever the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination, is sort of pushing them to do. That embarrassment is a great thing that stops people from doing sins. And the Mussar goes on to speak about Teshuvah. Teshuvah tzarich arba'a devarim. Teshuvah needs four things, four steps. Ha'echad, the first, sheitnachem al kol chet v'chet avon ve'ashma. That a person should regret any sin, any transgression, any avera that he has done. So number one is regretting wrong actions of the past. Hasheni, the second, sheya azovotam, to abandon them. In other words, to resolve, to abandon that thing that we regret from the past. Hasherishi, sheyitvadeh belibo. The third thing is to admit, to confess, so to speak, in his heart about what he's done. Many times a person could have done something wrong, but he could justify it. No. You have to actually admit fault and say in your heart that what you've done and what it was that was done, in other words, not just partial admission, but admission of everything that was done and confessing that it was wrong. Arevi'i, the fourth step, sheikabel alav belev shalem, that he should have a resolve fully in his heart, v'yigmor milavo shelo yashuv la'asot od, that he makes a resolution not to do again those same things that he's done in the past. Because if he doesn't do that, it's like, Mussar says, it's like somebody who's going to the mikveh to purify himself while he's holding a dead creeping creature, let's say, like a rat in his hand while he's doing tevilah. So the tevilah in the mikveh is not going to help him. So it's not enough to regret what the person has done in the past. The person also should make that resolution not to do that same thing or that same action in the future. And so the Mussar really, in terms of the first theme here in the portion of Mussar, the idea of boshet, which is embarrassment, a person who has that concept of embarrassment within him is a great quality to have, because he'll stop him from doing things that are wrong. A person who has no embarrassment, a person who is so brazen that we do anything without being embarrassed, is a person that would be really more likely to sin and do things that are not proper. And this was the Mussar for today, for Monday, Parashat Bechukotai from Chok L'Yisrael. Baruch Adonai le'olam, Amen ve'amen.